Peace, unity, and love. It's your boy Cushy C, coming to you live from the West Side. If you're a fan of the West Coast movement, artists like Snoop, Kendrick, Nipsey, then I got something special just for you. 3 of my best songs to date for free. All you gotta do, hit the link below. Any information, songs coming to you in the instant. Don't forget to leave a little feedback too. Let me know how you feel. Let's.
Welcome to Sports Court Podcast episode 2, and this is the one and only Dhane Diesil, and let's talk some sports, baby. We got a couple cases to bring to the court today, and just some housekeeping after that. But the first case, Super Bowl 53, trash. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was trash. Unfortunately, it wasn't the game that a lot of us anticipated. I found myself throughout the game getting distracted by the little homies. We kind of had where we were watching the game at. Shots out Reg Too Smooth. We had a little man cave situation, so I found myself during extended periods of the game hanging out with the little fellas. What were we doing? Well, they pretty much made their own All-Star Weekend extravaganza in man cave, so we was playing pool, shooting, some basketball. Well, they was doing their own little dunk contest, and what else did they do? 3-point contest. But shouts out once again, Reg Too Smooth for hosting us. But all in all, that game wasn't what nobody expected. I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. I mean, congratulations to the Patriots for winning. They have clearly figured something out. I felt all throughout the playoffs, it was, us watching the Patriots playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. And it was evident. Case in point, I had high expectations for the San Diego Chargers. That was my Super Bowl pick. I had the Chargers and the Rams in the Super Bowl. And with the season that the Chargers had, and once again, like, that prediction was put in before the season started, because we do that every year with the frat. We always put our Super Bowl picks in before the season starts. So only one of my frat brothers had the actual right picks, and I forgot if he had the Patriots to win it, but he probably did. But nevertheless, that game just wasn't what it was built out to be from an offensive perspective. But like I said, it's any given Sunday, and we all know how that is at the end of the day. But hopefully next year's Super Bowl we can get a little bit more fireworks, because this one was a dud. I'm pretty sure you've all had situations where you lit a firecracker and it just didn't ignite. I felt like that's what the Super Bowl was. It was built up to be this thing. Now it was going to be this juggernaut of offensive and defensive superpowers going at each other, but it just didn't really turn out that way. So hopefully, next season we can get a good one. But as far as case number 1 of Super Bowl 53, trash at the end of the day. The people want their money back. NFL. So y'all gotta do better, man. Maybe that was the ball not lying. Maybe it was supposed to be the Saints and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. We in sports, we all understand the ball never lies. So maybe that was the football gods coming back, like, hey Rams, this isn't your year. But I will say this about the Rams. This is going to be Jared Goff's 1, 2. So this is going into his 4th season. So his rookie year, he gets drafted by Jeff Fisher and is labeled an absolute bust. The Rams make a coaching change, and now Jared Goff has basically marched his team into the playoffs and has marched his team to the Super Bowl. So this kid's ceiling looks like it's as good as they said it was back in the day. But, we shall see, man. But shouts out to them Raiders, what I'm saying? We got some for y'all coming next season. Maybe another season or 2, but the Raiders is coming. Just want to put that out there for the world to hear. Don't sleep on my Raiders. All right. Case number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We got the people versus the Laker trade debacle with Anthony Davis. I mean, what's next? I mean, that's really what I want to know. What's next? Like, I just want to know what's happening in the front office, because it just doesn't seem to me that the Lakers, I take it back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to first preface my statement by saying, here's my disclaimer. Now, me personally, I do primarily think long term. So when I'm thinking about, the Lakers, I am thinking about a long-term outlook, a long-term perspective. Now, I do understand that old man LeBron definitely is on the clock. He is on the wrong side of 30. And it is imperative that we get some talent, sooner than later, so that, we can win. The man has came out and said that he doesn't feel like he has anything to prove, but he's playing in LA now, so you got a lot to prove, period. And we expect a lot, from our Lakers. And now that we have you, man, let's make it do what it do, bro. Like, we needed LeBron. We need your best still. You know what I'm saying? I know you got, you might be looking in the rearview mirror right now, but we need you focused on looking forward through the windshield. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got opportunities available to us. And this first LeBron move of this Anthony Davis trade, I think it's left some pretty sour tastes in some people's mouths. But all in all, yes, I do understand that Anthony Davis is a generational talent. Yes, I do understand that the kid balls out of control. I remember him at Kentucky. He was awesome. He was great. He was every positive word that you can fathom in your mind. But once again, from a long-term perspective, I do not believe we can sell the house and sell. We can't sell our shirt. we can't do it. We can't give up our whole team. We can't give up future draft picks. We can't give up the young cores. I mean, these young players that we've been drafting. And if Anthony Davis is basically saying that, he's gonna ultimately come to LA, yes, I mean, let's see what we can do to get him. But I do not believe that we need to lose our shirt over this transaction, because the Lakers do have a history of buying players, but I just don't see that being the direction of the league moving forward. Through Golden State, this season we're seeing through Toronto, through Milwaukee, as well as with Denver, teams drafting these kids and these kids developing with these teams over the years, and then these teams end up being pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Milwaukee right now balling. You feel me? Denver right now balling. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand how we can build a dynasty down the line if we're gonna sell our shirts. We can't come out of our shirt, Robin and Magic. But more than likely, my gut just does tell me that for the sake of just landing Anthony Davis, ultimately we probably are going to end up losing our shirt over this young man. And if that is the case, then that means we're going to have LeBron, we're going to have AD, and then some third max player, and then a bunch of old role player legs. And see this, and this is my fear with that, because we lose our shirt to get AD, then we sign another max player or close to a max player, and then we have to fill out the rest of our roster with old legs via the minimum and mid-level exceptions, and maybe if we still have some draft picks, the second rounders probably, we'll be able to fill the team out with that. And then that's going to be LeBron's second year. Then the third year we go pretty much have to get some more old legs, because we only going to be able to afford these guys for 1 year. And then by year, what would it be, 4? Same thing. And then after that, then it's like we will probably have at a bare minimum one max player in AD, and then maybe that second player who we might max out or not. But then after that, then how do we build after LeBron? Like, that's my question to Laker Nation. what do we do after LeBron leaves if we lose our shirt on this Anthony Davis trade? So only time will tell. Now, this debacle got us 40-pieced by the Pacers on I think that they played the trade deadline day. But, you know what I'm saying, it was what it was. You know, we took it on the chin. I woke up the next morning and, you know, the media has their ways, of course, but it made it seem like LeBron just wasn't a part of the team. So initially, you know, that didn't look good, but it is what it is. And after the trade deadline, we came back, won that game in Boston, which was a breath of fresh air because I didn't think that we would be able to win it simply because of what had transpired with the trade deadline. But hey, they came back and handled their business, played some good D. Everyone, you know, had a pretty decent game, and we still don't have the likes of some of our younger players. Well, probably just Lonzo now, but all in all, we got that good W against the Celtics. So any win against the Celtics is a great win, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So case number 2, we're going to give the people their money back again because we was expecting a lot. But then again, I guess some of us weren't. But summer 2019, we shall see what the Lakers do. We definitely going to have to add somebody. Apparent word on the street right now is, you know, Lakers just trying to get some buyout players to fill out for the rest of the season. But I do believe that we can make it to the playoffs this year. It's just going to be it's probably going to unfortunately be an early exit. I hope not, but you know, it is what it is. And we got to play them boys up north eventually at some point. I think we would have to play them boys up north to start it out. So, you know, we're going to have to go against the Monstars, and we already know what that's all about, man. But shouts out to the Lakers at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do something. We're going to make something happen. All right, moving on to case number 3. We got the people versus the NBA trade deadline. And this is, I think that the trade deadline won. Personally, I like what the Sixers did. They got rid of Fultz. They got Harris, and now they have probably the best starting 5 in basketball, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got Embiid, Harris, who they got at the 3? Butler, Redick, and then Simmons. And they got Def at the bench. When they make the Butler trade, I personally felt that was enough to catapult them to Eastern Conference favorites. But now with Harris and the depth in the bench, I see that. I think they're the team to beat in the East right now. As long as they can get some chemistry, they're the team to beat. Boston, stand up. Milwaukee, stand up. You know, y'all don't notice. Toronto, stand up. Y'all don't notice. That boy Elton Brand in Philly is making some moves, and I'm liking them. So I'm gonna have to give, you know, this case to the trade deadline because that Sixers team is looking real scary out there in the East. And yeah, Gasol into the Raptors kind of short up that front court. But I personally still think the Sixers, they got the best guns. You know what I'm saying? They got the best arsenal. And then, although the Sixers starting 5 aren't as all-star worthy as the Warriors, I would pay for that. I would pay to watch that NBA Final Series for sure. So if that's what it's gonna be, then that's gonna be some good basketball, ladies and gentlemen, because we go have, like I said, obviously the defending champs and Golden State Warriors going up against these trust the process Sixers who hey, trust the process, and the process has worked out for these guys so far. But all in all, like, yeah, I think that Sixers trade was big, and secondly, why I'm giving the trade deadline win over the people is because the Mavs, they made a big splash with Porzingis, and then after that, you got Luka coming out saying, "Hey, this is too easy for me. It's too easy for me in the NBA. It's too easy for me to get buckets." And the kid is only 19. Bro and I looked up his stats yesterday, and when he was EuroLeague MVP, he was basically averaging 15, 5, and 5. And he says that over Europe, they don't have a 3-second rule, so the bigs can just stay in the middle, which is why probably he really wasn't, getting that action to the basket. But we have a 3-second rule in the NBA, and as he stated, that the big man can't stay down there. So you got the 6'7", 220 kid coming, wants to run point. That's probably why Dennis Smith Jr. More than likely, that is why Dennis Smith Jr. got the boot. But this man is about to be a beast. He's only 19. I mean, he's pretty much the LeBron. He's the new LeBron. European sensation. And now you've paired him up with Porzingis. Oh my God. I know Mark Cuban is so happy right now, man. Like, he's already lighting the Cubano right now. He just sit back like it's just a matter of time. You feel me? It's just a matter of time as far as Mark Cuban is concerned. But you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not like, once again, I'm gonna have to give the trade deadline, the case. You feel me? Like they won it. So people, you lost that one, but you are up 2-1 this episode. So moving right along, case number 4, Carmelo Anthony. What happened, Melo? I mean, I remember Melo coming out of Oak Hill that year, and then coming up to, what was it? He played for Syracuse, Jim Boeheim. Story season, leads Syracuse to a national championship as a freshman, which was obviously a big deal. Follow that up, obviously, with I think Melo was the number 1 pick. If not, definitely top 3. But I want to say Melo was number 1 that year. He went to Denver. And pretty much balled out. Now on the back end, hindsight being 2020, Denver. Well, no, he didn't go number 1. He went number 2 that season because not Gallinari, but I forgot the foreigner's name. But that foreigner, he went to the Pistons, and then Melo went to Denver. And I recently saw a video on YouTube just kind of like talking about the fall of Carmelo Anthony, and the dude actually made a good point. He stated that when Melo got drafted to the Nuggets, they didn't really have any veteran presence on the team at the time. So there was really nobody to, provide Melo with that mentorship and that veteran tutelage. So that's why he pretty much was able to be the player that he was, which was pretty much ball dominant ISO player. I'm trying to get some buckets. Compared to if he had went to a team like Detroit, who at the time had the likes of the Rip Hamiltons, the Ben Wallaces, the Chauncey Billups, I believe, was still there, Tayshaun Prince. So just imagine if Melo would have went to that team. And I think that was the year, either the season before or after they had just won the title against the Lakers. So just imagine that. You feel me? Like, imagine if Melo had went to that squad. Like, that would have been nasty. But he did it. He went to Denver and pretty much developed into the player we knew him to be, which we unfortunately learned was not conducive to winning championships. So Melo was an awesome one-on-one player. We all know that. The boy balls, but unfortunately, it is what it is at this point. He didn't really, like I said, he never really had the no one to really teach him the game in regards to veterans. So he was allowed to do whatever he wanted to do. And, and it's no secret that he didn't play D. He didn't do the basic things that, players have to do to win championships. And so, he ended up in the demise that he's in right now. I mean, like you said, awesome scorer. But personally, I just feel that the league has ultimately violated and disrespected this man's name. And from here, I just think he retires. Like I said, Baby Bro made a good point. Like, Atlanta didn't even want him to come to the city. They just mailed him a jersey and a check. Like, we appreciate. Just imagine that, man. You are Carmelo Anthony and one of the worst teams in the league. One of the worst teams in the league would rather have Vince Carter than Carmelo Anthony. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's where Melo is right now. But you know, that is what it is, man. You know, he had a good career, made some great money. So, I mean, that's the silver lining of it all. But it's still, I know Melo still has some game. You know what I'm saying? I know Melo should at least be able to give you 10 a night. You know, still on a good or bad night. But you know, so I guess that's just not valuable to people. They don't want Melo's 10. You know, they'll take Vince Carter's 6, but they don't want Melo's 10. And that's, to me, is saying a lot. So in the case of the people versus Carmelo Anthony, the people have won. Next case. Zion Williamson. Is he the next? That's what the word out on the street is, ladies and gentlemen. Zion Williamson. If right now people are pretty much saying that the Knicks are basically trying to lose tank so they can get Zion, but I mean, Zion's going to be Zion wherever he ends up going. I just don't know if a team like I don't know if an organization like New York would be a good fit for him, only because like the culture of that franchise just sucks. The owner sucks, and you know, it trickles down from there, and it just sucks. You know, we all know this, so you know that should be pretty interesting. You know how that ultimately ends up, but bar for bar, pound for pound, Zion Williamson, he's as advertised. You know, in high school, we saw a lot of his dunking ability through ball. You know, the ball is life and all the hoop hypes. You know, that's pretty much how most people were introduced to the kid. And prior to actually seeing him play at Duke, I thought that that's all he was a dunker. But the kid actually has some game. Post-up game, very, very, very elusive on the block due to his strength and quickness. You know what I'm saying? He has speed. He could pass. You know, he could shoot. And like with everything, it's just for him. It's just gonna be obviously polishing up the rough ends. But like the kid has legit game, ladies and gentlemen. So be on the lookout. Start making mental notes. Zion Williamson, I do believe he's the next. And 5 years from now, when we looking at the NBA, I do believe that we go see the faces of Zion and Luka as the face of the chapter. As the face of the league in the not so distant future. Because, like I said, both of those kids are gonna be. Obviously, they're both generational talents, but yeah, they both got some game, man. And they could both make some moves, and so it's just a matter of time, as far as I'm concerned, with them two guys. But I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, he's gonna have to be, get acclimated to the game. Unlike a Luka Doncic, who was basically playing the European. Luka's been playing the European equivalent of the NBA, I think, since he's been about 15. So. That's why Luka seems like he's such a polished professional at 19, because he's basically been a professional since he was 15. But as far as Zion is concerned, I do believe that Zion's definitely gonna have some growing pains initially, and that's probably just gonna be about more so just staying in shape, getting stronger, and mostly figuring out what his niche is gonna be in the league. But generational talent nonetheless, and I do believe that this kid has a lot of promise, and it's not just hype. The kid actually has some game. So, the people versus Zion Williamson, I'm giving this case to Zion. I believe that he's going to be as good or better than what we think he can be at the end of the day. So with that being said, let's talk about this last case. case number 6, and we'll end it after this. But I just want to kind of actually, for the culture, you know, I love sports, played sports all growing up as a kid. You know, basketball was pretty much my primary sport, but, you know, I love football as well, but due to some injuries, I really couldn't get loose like I wanted to. But all in all, back to basketball, you know, if I was a kid playing basketball right now, or if I was a parent or an uncle or a coach or whoever, I would insist that my kid, my son, my daughter watched Gilbert Arenas' No Chill podcast. I think he recently started. Maybe it's been out for a year, maybe not. But that podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is awesome. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we have a proven NBA bucket getter teaching you his secrets to getting buckets. And just the way Gil talks about it, talks about the game, is I just always find myself just in a state of shock and awe. Like, damn, I wish I had known that when I was playing. Just because, just how he just, like you said, evaluates and interprets things. He just breaks the game down to a level to where I believe that, you know, any kid who watches that now will definitely have a good perspective on how to move as a professional athlete, as well as just a professional basketball player on the court, because like he really gets into like the nitty gritty details of actual moves, of reading defenses, of off, like it's amazing. So if you're listening and you know what I'm saying, you're a coach, father, uncle, brother, nephew, whatever, kid, go tap into Gilbert Arenas' No Chill podcast. Like I said, you will get your money's worth. And like you said, the man's putting that out there, free game for you, ladies and gentlemen. So go soak that up. So we'll go give this case, the people versus No Chill. We're giving it to No Chill. So looks like we went 3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen. The people won Super Bowl 53. The people won the Lakers trade debacle. The NBA trade won against the people. The people won Melo. And then Zion beat the people. And No Chill beat the people. So, yeah, we went 3 for 3 this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Tie. But next episode, we shall see. We got a whole week of sports. So we go see what's popping this week. And then, like I said, I'm going to tap back in with y'all next week. And we're going to make it do what it do. So without further ado, make sure y'all go follow us at Plains and Palm Trees on Instagram. You can always tune in on YouTube. We will have a podcast for you there for the time being. And yes, in the not so distant future, we are going to get these episodes, you know, up on iTunes and Spotify and whatnot. But for now, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be on YouTube, so you can follow us there. Don't forget to tell a friend, tell a stranger to tell a friend about us. And if you have any questions, feel free to use the comment section below. You know, drop that feedback, drop that wisdom. And if you're in LA and you're one of my homies and you want to talk sports, come holler at me. Let's make it do what it do. With that being said, you know, thank you once again for tuning in. Dhane Diesil out.